Folks, welcome back. We have your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending November 30th, 2022. Before we get into the numbers, we are giving away Leaf tickets. Here are the details. Folks, Team Sessa here. I'm with my son Daniel for a special announcement.
If you know us, you know we love the Toronto Maple Leafs and we're excited to share this experience with two of you. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets to go see the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Anaheim Ducks December 13th, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. the Scotiabank Arena. Here's how you enter.
We're asking you to nominate a big Leaf fan that, for whatever circumstances, maybe they wouldn't be going to a game, but they would really love to go to a game.
You can send your submissions to leaftickets@teamsessa.ca. Cutoff for submissions is this Friday, December 9th at 11:59 p.m. This weekend we're going to choose the winner. Feel free to include pictures, videos, anything to enhance your case as to why this person deserves to go to a Leaf game. Good luck.
Hope you'll participate in our free Leaf tickets giveaway. And just so you know, tickets are also good for those that have accessibility issues. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. This time, every year, without question, I get calls of people that are thinking of buying or thinking of selling, and they're wondering, what are prices going to be like in the first quarter? January, February, March, what are prices going to be like? This year, no exception, people are calling, but it seems intensified this year because we've got our current market conditions, our current interest rate hikes that we know is coming, all these things happening, and people are wondering what's going on with prices. Nobody with accuracy can predict the future, but let me show you what's already happened, and maybe you could make up your own decision, and this way you know what's happened, and a lot of people don't even know exactly what's happened yet. So far we've had 6 rate increases. There's another one coming. March, April, and June, quarter point, half a point, for a total of 1.25%. The second half of the year, we had other rate hikes. 1 point in July, 3/4 points in September, and half a point in October. So the first 6 months, March to June, total of 1.25%. The second half of the year, total 2.25%. And if we look at right up until, say, the end of June, that's when we saw the massive price drop in average sold prices. It was just massive from the peak all the way down during the first 3 rate hikes. The second rate hike, which really saw the higher interest rates, really prices haven't changed that much. They have been coming down, and we'll see that in some of the other slides, but not as aggressively as prices have come down in the first 6 months. So I'm going to leave it to you to figure out if you think prices are going to be lower in January, February, or March. I'll leave it to you to figure all that out. I'm showing you what's already happened. Let's take a close look. Just for Toronto, detached properties broken down by week for a whole year. Week ending November 30th, 103 detached properties were sold. 15 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price came up from the previous week. It's now sitting at $1,532,000. $1,532,000 is 11% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price of $1,270,000 is 12% lower than last year's median price. So this chart here is for 3 months. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average. And when we look at the average sold price, kind of looks like slightly sloping down, but very, very slight, very gradual. Looks like over 3 months, average sold prices kind of have come down, but not by that much. Median price, same thing. Looks like average median prices have come down over the span of 3 months, but not by that much. Sales of the 103 that sold, 27% sold at list price or more. And year to date, for the City of Toronto for detached properties, we have 32% fewer sales this year versus last year. Year to date listings, we have 9% fewer listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory is unchanged week over week, sitting at 2.5 months of inventory for City of Toronto detached properties. That's all of Toronto. If we break Toronto down into 3 sections, central, the green is west, the burgundy is east. You can see, although central stayed the same, east and west, week over week, went up. Here's a closer look. West Toronto, 31 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price week over week went up to $1,325,000. 1325 is 14% lower than last year's average sold price for West Toronto. Median price of $1,250,000 is 8% lower than last year's median price for the same week ending. Months of inventory for West Toronto climbed week over week. It's now sitting at 3.1 months of inventory. And 23% of the properties sold in West Toronto sold at list price or more. Here's Central Toronto. The lion's share of the luxury properties in the GTA are in Central Toronto. 31 detached properties sold. 10 of those sold at $2 million or more, so a third. Average sold price is $2,186,000, which is the same as the previous week. $2,186,000 is 10% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price is 11% lower than last year's median price. That's for Central Toronto. And when you look at the 4-week moving average, prices have been coming down over the previous 3 months. Months of inventory for Central Toronto sitting at 3.2 months of inventory, and 16% of all sales in Central Toronto were at list price or more. Here's East Toronto. 41 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is sitting now at $1,194,000. 1194 is 11% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price of $1,085,000 is also 11% lower than last year's median price. And looking at the 4-week moving average, both for average price and for median price, we can see average sold price. We could see prices for median and average sold price have been coming down over the previous 3 months. Months of inventory, it's quite low, sitting at 1.4 months of inventory, and 39% of all properties sold in East Toronto have sold at list price or more. Here's a summary where you can compare West, Central, and East. East, almost every week, lowest average sold price, lowest median price, lowest months of inventory, more activity, highest sales. That's East Toronto. The highest percentage selling at list price or more. That's East Toronto, which is East York Beaches, Scarborough. Here's a close look at semi-detached. 27 semi-detaches were sold. 6 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price week over week came down to $1,185,000. 1185 is 13% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price is 9% lower than last year's median price. Looking at the 4-week moving average, well, for average sold price, it's tough to tell. I mean, it looks pretty flat, and then the last little while here, the last month and a half, it looks like it's sloping down. And the same thing with the median price. It's kind of been pretty flat and then starts to slope down. For semi-detached, months of inventory is sitting at two months of inventory, and half of the properties, 52%, sold at list price or more. Now, there's not a lot of properties. It's only 27 properties that sold, but half of those were at list price or more. Townhouses, only 15 townhouses were sold. These are freehold townhouses. Prices vary, and because the sales are so low, you get these enormous peaks and valleys. Well, I'm going to report it still. 15 were sold. 4 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price sitting at $1,383,000, which is 12% higher. I know we don't hear that often these days. It's 12% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price is 11% lower than last year's median price. Months of inventory for freehold townhouses is sitting at 1.5, and 40% of the only that 15 sold at list price or more. So here's condos. 157 condos were sold. 15 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price for a few weeks now has been coming down, sitting at $689,000. Now I have a year on the board here. Going back even further, it's been a while that average sold price has been this low, and just from my 1 year here, it's the lowest week that we've had for the whole year. $689,000 is 5% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price is 1% lower than last year's median price. Year-to-date sales, we have 35% fewer condo sales this year versus last year, and only 20% sold at list price or more. So lots of room to negotiate and put in an offer. Listings, we have 10% fewer condo listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory for condos is high and has been staying high. It's now sitting at 3.8. I mean, we have a cutoff where we say between 4 to 6 months is a balanced market, but I can assure you at 3.8, it's very much a balanced market when it comes looking at condos. Here's a quick summary. I mean, months of inventory are all over the place. Neighborhoods, I keep saying neighborhoods are behaving differently. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. We got interest rate hikes, we got sellers needing and wanting to sell, we got buyers thinking, should I buy, should I wait? There's so much uncertainty right now. So important to align yourself with a realtor that could advise you properly. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.